What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. I just want to react to this Spraggles video because I feel like he does talk a lot of sense on here. Not everything I do agree on, but like I personally think Pokemon Unite is not dying. It does seem like it's dying off a little bit because in the October, the same as last year, where it drops off a little bit and then it'll pick back up again when new releases come out. At the moment, there's literally nothing to do apart from just grinding rank, and obviously looking forward to the Miracles coming out in 5 days. It's just going to be a weird time for all of us, but hopefully this video just explains everything.
Once again, we're hearing the talk that Pokemon Unite is dying. And that's right, I say once again, because I think that's going to be very, very interesting here in the...
Before we start as well, I just want to say Spraggles for making this video for me to react to as well. But like I said before, once again, obviously last year, it shows the exact same setup where in October time they did absolutely nothing and people just kind of just leave the game. And I do agree with this.
This video. Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw. Let's talk about Pokemon Unite and the fact that it is not dying. There are a lot of interesting conversations around Unite. Without question, I've been very critical about Unite and its balance, and I think a lot of people have been critical around the monetization in the game.
Yeah, with the balancing, we're not going to talk about the balancing wise because they should be balancing Mewtwo way before it's actually gotten this bad. It's been a couple of months now since Mewtwo Y been released and they still haven't. Actually, no, they did one nerf to it and it was barely a nerf, in my opinion anyway. So monetization wise, I just don't think like they're looking at this game properly, and they're not properly adjusting little bits now and then just to make it more fun for everyone.
Surrounding Mewtwo, all of that very fair. It's no indication that Unite's dying. If anything, it's actually an indication that they're probably doing better than they have previously by a very unfortunate balance system that has made the game very frustrating. I also see talk all the time that the reason the game hasn't been balanced and updated is because they're focused on the Chinese beta. It's the only thing they're doing. They're working.
Yeah, I don't think that's entirely true. They might take a lot of their employees or who are developing the game towards the beta side, but I don't think no one is looking at the game, even though it does seem like no one is actually looking at this game right now.
Working on the Chinese beta, and they're putting no resources into the main game, which, let's be honest, doesn't make a lot of sense given that Pokemon is a Japanese company. The game is out in Japan and essentially worldwide, except for one major market, China, which no question they absolutely do want that to succeed. But the idea that they don't have a team in place to work on this game, that really want,
that really doesn't make sense
to release in China. So what they're doing is they're getting rid of all their other team where the game is already out worldwide, so that they, guys, this isn't how things work in general. Like, you don't do anything like this. I know the idea kind of makes sense, but they are not sacrificing their game that is already out worldwide and in their biggest markets that they are in. The US, Japan, EU, it's India, it's all over the world.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't make sense where they're just going to take, everyone from this massive market where they open worldwide and then just to focus on one specific target where they're making, yes, Japan is probably the biggest place they can do it at, but it's worldwide. Like, America got it. Like, anyone can play this game worldwide. And I don't think they're going to reduce that amount to just be the beta. So the thing of saying that, no one's looking after this game, I don't think that's true at all.
Already. And they are not going to throw away their entire game.
No, they're not.
Maybe get a beta going inside of China. Now, it's clear they have a lot of people working on the beta, but it's unclear that any of that has anything to do with taking resources away from the game that we are all playing. What's actually happening is it's October in Pokemon Unite. Let's get into it. It's funny because last October, just 1 year ago, a very handsome YouTuber made this video.
Yep.
It's funny because I was hearing the talk once again of Pokemon Unite dying. Is the game dead? It's a dead game, etc., etc. And I thought, man, this all happened before. Not only did it all happen before, it felt like the same pro players didn't have a professional season to look forward to yet, so a lot of pro players were dropping. We saw videos and posts from pro players last year, and now we're seeing videos and posts from pro players this year with the same sentiment, especially in the West, because we don't have tournaments coming up until whenever they would start UCS, which is at the start of next year. So you've got this weird lull. And then after Worlds last year, you also started to get this weird lull after the anniversary and all of that, and the meta was very unbalanced. The meta happened to be Mew, Mime, Glaceon, and the meta right now is
this meta wasn't actually that bad. Yes, Glaceon was an annoying Pokemon to deal against. Mime was just overpowered, and then Mew is just stupid. The fact that you got 6 moves that you interchange at pretty much at any time, considering the cooldown as well. But like this meta have nothing, and I mean nothing compared to this. Even a Session Comfy have nothing in this meta. The Mewtwo meta is absolutely insane. The Mewtwo Blissey is just out of this world, honestly. Like, this meta have nothing on what we got now.
Mewtwo, Blissey, Inteleon, stuff like that. We are once again in a bad meta. Once again, it is after Worlds, after the anniversary. Once again, it is in October. And at this point, I think people are just not recognizing. This is unfortunate. This is October Pokemon Unite. And October Pokemon Unite doesn't really make anybody happy. If I were to guess what was going on with Pokemon Unite, and this is just pure speculation, they have so much going on inside the game, from basically Pokemon Day and the start of UCS, but even into the winter tournaments, you know, in the East. They have so much going on in Pokemon Unite that runs all the way up until the anniversary, till the release of new Pokemon. They have a couple balance patches that are scheduled, and honestly, this is probably the time that they are at their lowest staffed. It's probably the time where people are taking vacations.
To be fair, that does make a lot of sense. Obviously, we have Worlds in Japan a couple of months ago. They're doing all of this thing building up to now, and then now is pretty much the only time that, you know, any employee can have any time off, or they just need to chill out a little bit, you know, let the game run for a little bit, and then we come back, and then they can change stuff within the game in a couple of weeks. But I still feel like they should do something so much quicker with the Mewtwo, but you know, they deserve some time off.
It's probably the time where their team is not at full capacity because they have been running non-stop for the entire year. That could be totally wrong. It also could just be simply the schedule that Pokemon Unite has put in front of them. Throughout the championship series, throughout the year, when things are running up to Pokemon Day, they have constant balance, they have constant bug fixes, things need to be tuned in, and then just like last year, we have a super unbalanced meta right after the anniversary, into October, and everyone says the game is dead. And the truth is, there's no indication that the game is dead. There's an indication that the game is really poorly balanced. I totally
agree. To be fair, like, there is more people coming to the game now. Like, the people that I've worked with never actually heard this game before, and they said they're willing to, you know, give this game a try because they play the likes of like League of Legends and stuff like that. And personally, I don't really play League of Legends. I play other MOBAs, but literally, Pokemon Unite is probably one of the best MOBA I have played, and I play like, you know, the Arena Valor, the Asian, you know, League of Legends. It's not as big as League of Legends. I have tried League of Legends, it's just not my play style, but, you know, combining two of my favorite things, MOBAs and Pokemon, everyone that loves Pokemon will always give this game a try, whether, you know, you are 8-year-old or 30-year-old, anyone will give this game a try, because everyone like seen and know League of Legends, and everyone know about Pokemon. So a lot of people will come to this. It's just, you know, in little bits at a time.
I agree with you right there. And there's definitely an indication that people are upset with the game, but it's
100%. I am one of them.
Then you're not having fun and you're upset with it, and you need to do something else for a little while, which I totally understand. There are times that I get pretty dang frustrated with Pokemon Unite. The metrics people have looked at for the game dying, like player counts dropping after huge anniversary and Worlds announcements, that's not really surprising. These are the ebbs and flows that Pokemon Unite has had throughout the history.
This has happened the exact same time as last year as well. In October, players drop like mad because, you know, everyone's come back from Worlds, or, you know, all of the events and stuff. They kind of just leave and go do other stuff. And bear in mind as well, you got the games like FIFA coming out, so a lot of FIFA play gone back to that. You got like of COD coming out, so a lot of people go play that. So other big games are coming out, and people will go and play them sort of game first before they eventually come back to Pokemon Unite. And me personally, I'm already thinking about getting a new COD because I do like Call of Duty. So I will take some time off. That's not saying I'm not going to make videos every single day. That's just me taking some time, because I play this game like 6 hours a day non-stop, and this game is not for the people who wants to play 6 hours a day. You can play, you know, a few games just to get used to it, just have a bit of fun, and then you just go off and play other games. For me personally, playing 6 hours a day does seem a lot of, you know, I don't get bored of it, but I do get very frustrated now that in this meta. So it'd be nice when the new games come out, and I'll probably say this to a lot of people as well, where they probably will go out and go play with other games, and then they will eventually come back to Pokemon Unite.
I don't think the game is ever going to be as popular as it was upon release. Very few.
No, 100% not.
There's really no indication that the player base inside of Pokemon Unite is falling off a cliff. All I would say is people are very, very sick of this meta, and the interest in the game is waning due to that. But it's not that people are not excited about Pokemon Unite and won't flock back to the game when the game is fixed, which is kind of exactly what happened last year. I was talking to Jeff Hoagland about this, who is a Marvel Snap player, and he cast the UCS in Season 1 of Pokemon Unite. He's a very smart guy, and he talked about this idea behind the game dying, and I thought it was really, really smart. So I'm just going to kind of say what Jeff said, because I won't be able to put it in these words as well, but I thought it was very, very smart. Jeff's theory about lifestyle games, and I'm going to sort of butcher his thought process, but his theory about lifestyle games is that they hook you in and they're habitual. They want you to play every single day. They want you to complete all the quests, and they're pretty addictive. And when you're not having fun and when you're frustrated, you decide that instead of you not having fun and you being frustrated, it's actually not something in your control, it's something out of your control. It's that the game is dying. You're so invested that it's really difficult for you to walk away from this. You put time in, you put money in. So instead of you just saying that you need to walk away, it's easier to frame it that something else is failing and it's forcing you to stop playing. Jeff was saying that basically every game he's played like this has a floating community sentiment that after the hype of something happens, there is the cooling off period. And in that cooling off period,
I 100% agree.
Convinced that the game is dying or it's dead or the devs don't care, etc., etc., etc. And there are lots of things to complain about. There are things that you could want to change inside of Pokemon Unite. There's no indication that because we haven't had a balance patch since the last regular time we've had a balance patch, that anything is going on with Pokemon Unite. You may want to think that, but there's really no clear indication that's happening. If anything, Pokemon Unite and the Pokemon Unite Championship Series, outside of its first initial pop of a release, hasn't been more popular in a while. I would assume when a reasonable balance patch drops, and it might not happen right away, we might be waiting till November for a reasonable balance patch, unfortunately. I hope it's happening tomorrow, tonight for this game. It could be, or with Mimikyu's release. But as soon as we have a reasonable balance patch that brings the game back into a reasonable state, I think people are going to be excited about Pokemon Unite once again. And I don't think there's going to be any talk about the game dying when UCS rolls right back around and Pokemon Day comes here and we have legendary Pokemon from Gen 9 coming into the game. It'll once again be this huge moment for Unite. It feels like the game rides these waves, and it doesn't even feel like it. From a content creator, I can see that the game rides these waves. And interestingly enough, I couldn't believe it was this close 1 year ago, almost to the day, people were having the exact same conversation about Pokemon Unite. It was history repeating itself.
I don't even think it's just Pokemon Unite. I think it's the same with every other game. Like when the first Warzone come out, everyone was so hyped to play on that. Yes, a lot of people do continue to play on it, but there have been drops where no one really played the game and only like the pro players or content creators to just continue playing the game. And personally, I even went off it like for a while, especially when this game come out. So whatever game it is, they will have drops and rise at any out of the. Oh, sorry, I've got a cat on my lap. At any time, so it's just weird that people saying like Pokemon Unite is dying. I think when Mimikyu come out, it will just rise back up again. That's what I hope, anyways.
Now, maybe people will leave the game. I'm not saying that they won't. Maybe people will get bored. Maybe some of the new Mewtwo players that came in won't really find the game that challenging or interesting, especially after their Pokemon is nerfed. Maybe they'll find that, oh, they actually don't like this style of game. They thought it was just kind of a hack and slash where you walk around and hold A. All of that is totally possible. But I'm just here to tell you, there's no proof that Unite is dying. When you see the numbers, they're not insanely different from exactly what happened last year after the hype of the World Championships and the anniversary died off, and then they spike once again when new exciting things come to the game. It's without question simpler to say that the game is dying, but the truth is always a little more complex than we would like to think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, like I said, I agree with a lot of the stuff that Spraggle said there. But like I said, I don't think Pokemon Unite is going to die. And funny enough, I think Mimikyu will save Pokemon Unite. I think it will bring a lot of people coming back. Hopefully, by the time Mimikyu does release, they'll patch everything that was wrong with the game, like the matchmaking, the meta, the Mewtwo, you know. I hope that's all changed when Mimikyu come out. But I hope you guys enjoy watching this video anyways. I know it's just me reacting to Spraggle's video, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace.